What's up, everybody? Welcome to our Wednesday weekly wisdom. I know people were starting a minute early, so there's no chance that everyone's on here because you know everyone. If they're not a minute late, then they're not really coming. So, welcome again to the weekly wisdom. I see people piling on here, so I'm very excited about that. Last week you had a special guest. You had my man. Pat Precourt on last week, so hopefully you guys truly enjoyed that. But I am back for this week's weekly wisdom. One of the coolest parts of my week are these weekly wisdoms because what I get to take from all of our coaches and the questions students are having and support emails and things that we feel are main questions, and I get to start addressing them. So. Today, what I'm excited to go over with you is our Podio account. We've kind of had an influx of questions regarding the CRM we use and Podio and how to use Podio and what is the most effective way to use Podio and what do you need and things of that nature. So I am going to dive into our Podio account. This is actually our account here at Phoenix Wealth Builders. Now we have added some additions to ours, so I'm going to go into the older account that we still is the foundation of what we use, but we're playing around with a couple additions to our Podio account, which we are not fully sold on whether they're advantageous or not. So what I'm going to show you guys is the Podio account that we have used for years, and so you guys will be able to see exactly how we use it, how simple it is. So hopefully this is something that you guys all have. If you don't have, and I can tell you, if you are a student who invested in the program of Boots on the Ground, you should have this. Without any cost, you should have received this. If you are a Boots on the Ground student and you have not received your Podio account, please let us know. You can email me, justin@reww.com. Make me aware that you are a Boots on the Ground student, and we will make sure that you get set up with this free of charge. If you are a student who is not a Boots on the Ground student, there is a charge to this, and the charge doesn't go to us. It actually goes to the developer who will be developing it for you, and it is $100. So it is very, very inexpensive. Again, if you are not a Boots on the Ground student, and those of you know who you are, because the coach would be coming to you to spend 2 days with you, then you will have a charge for this, and it's $100 for the developer to develop it for you. He is a third party. It is not going to us. It is strictly going to them. So there will be a cost to that. So I'm excited to review with you how to use Podio, how to use it effectively and efficiently, because we all know fortune's in the follow-up, right? I mean, you can't run an effective marketing and sales business without having effective follow-up with your leads. And this allows you to have incredibly effective follow-up. So, alongside with Podio, you'll obviously need a phone number. We highly encourage either CallRail or RingCentral. Those are the two that we are familiar with. There are many other call services out there, including Google Voice. Google Voice absolutely will work. And so how this all works is you send out your mail piece, and a caller or a seller calls you. It either calls your RingCentral account or your CallFire account or CallRail or RingRail account, or your Google Voice account. Our developer basically is grabbing that email that comes from one of those services and auto-updating that into your Podio account. So you will need a service, whether it's Google Voice, RingCentral, or CallRail, that you have a number to put on your marketing so that when that company, so for example, RingCentral shoots me an email saying I missed a call, that email gets grabbed by a, I guess a hook. It's called Zapier. You don't need to know this. It grabs the email and auto-populates a lead into Podio. It does it automatically. That's the best part of Podio, is it is so intuitive and automatic that you don't have to think. You don't have to manually put these leads in. So I am going to now show you exactly how we do Podio and what we're going to do, and run through our actual account and show you how simple it is to effectively use Podio. So I'm going to start sharing my screen. I'm going to jump off the webcam, and we are going to show you our Podio account. And here we have it. This is exactly what our Podio account looks like. And again, we are playing around with a couple additions that we're not fully sold are effective and efficient. So I am showing you exactly what we have been using for years. And this is our activity, all like a dashboard, right? Very similar to Facebook. I have a Facebook activity. I have a Podio activity. And as you scroll down, you can see all the activities, and you can write comments, and you can like, just like Facebook. You can do all of these things, you know, within the activity bar, right? So here's a lead that came in 5 days ago, right? So here's some comments that are being made. I can go in there and like that. I can go in there and like the comments. I can make a comment myself. I can tag people just like you tag people on Facebook. So there's a lot of similarities to how to use this, very similar to how you use Facebook. So this is all of our activities. These are the tasks that our guys in the team set up for themselves. These are recording the leads we get in by month, the status of every lead, dead, follow-up, long-term follow-up, cold, new, warm, hot, the underwritings by month, how many deals have we analyzed as potential deals, right? And so this is really a dashboard for you to get to where you want to get very quickly. And per all of these reports, you can run a report on any or all of them, right? And so, again, this is very intuitive, and it auto-populates. So, for example, I'll just scroll back down. Sorry, I'm just going to fly down here. This right here, as I'm circling, that is what a lead looks like when it comes in from the phone number. As you can see, it attached the voicemail to the lead. So now, obviously, this is the phone number that called us. We can go in here and click this and listen to the voicemail. Obviously, you know, once we talk to them, we can go into the lead and update it to an address or a name, like we did here with Charlotte Johnson. And so, you know, here again, here's a voicemail with Eric. So you can attach forms. Voicemails automatically come into the to the lead itself, and away we go, right? And so up here, as you will notice, is very important. This is where all the leads populate. This is where you take a lead and turn it into a property once you talk to the seller. Once you talk to the seller and you meet for a face-to-face meeting, you can take a property and add an inspection to it. Once you have an inspection, if you contract the property, you can put it to the deal board. Once there is a property, you can do your underwriting on the property, and all of these are interconnected, okay? They all talk to each other. There's a communication form within this that they all start to talk to each other, and I'll show you what I mean here in a little bit. You can have a templatized email flyer. You can have your buyers list in here. Now, Podio does not email directly from Podio, so you will have to have a, and we don't use Podio for our emails, but you will have to have a email service such as iContact, Constant Contact, Infusionsoft, MailChimp, whatever, connected to your Podio to utilize this to email out. But you can have your buyers list, you can have a template, and if you connect it through Zapier, just like our phone numbers are connected to our Podio, you can actually send an email out through Podio. You can write down all the different marketing campaigns you have, right? And so all of these I will go through for the most part. You know, we have other things that we don't necessarily use, like Agent or a whiteboard necessarily, or a campaign too. We do look at certain goals and where we're at. You know, and then we have PPC stats and marketing. So those aren't used to the best of their abilities, but the key to this is you have a Ring Central account, the phone rings, it goes to email or goes to voicemail. Ring Central emails us that we missed a call, that there's a voicemail, and that email that comes to us is grabbed by Zapier which is just a tool, and auto-populates a lead in a Podio. And so I will now go into leads, and I don't like that view, so I will turn it into the table view. And here are all of our leads, right? And here are our lead sources. Here's the message. Here is the status, property information. If there was an inspection, if there was going to be a closing, all of that is on here. And as I mentioned, you can pull a report for any and all of these tabs, right? So you can add a lead here, right? You can simply hit add lead. So let's say you run into someone and you run into Justin Colby. Well, because I've done this before, I'm already in here. However, you would simply click add new contact. So I'll do Justin Colby 1. There is no Justin Colby 1, so I would add a new contact, right? Now in here, I would put their phone number, I'd put their email, and anything else I'd like to add, right? And I would hit save. Now, for the sake of time, I'm not going to save everything, and I'm just going to help you walk through this. Obviously, a lead type, again, we have different lead sources, right? So was it from the probate mailing? Was it from the connections we have at adult placement communities? Was it from a Mark mailer? Was it from a Drew mailer? Was it from the website we have? Was it from a senior placement connection? Was it from the FSBO mailings? Was it from a door knocker? Was it from one of any of these direct mail pieces? Was it a Dallas Craigslist lead? Was it a for sale by owner lead? These are all our lead sources, or better yet said, campaigns. I showed you the campaigns earlier. It's very easy to create a campaign, right? Very easy. Create new item. Just like that, you can create a new campaign. So this might have been direct mail, whatever. These are your vacant property direct mails, right? So you can do that, and then you can say how many mail pieces you sent and your response rate. And again, these are where your reports come in. So it's very easy, and everything talks to each other, right? So offer sheet, we haven't made one yet. Any message, status, you would want to click new. This is a new, again, now it's a new lead. If once it goes into follow-up, you would click follow-up. Now it's in follow-up mode, right? And so all of these things start to talk to each other. If you do have the property information, you would click here, and obviously these are properties that are in our deal board, but you would just scroll down, and you'd create new item. And then you would put in the property information, right? So again, if you're looking at this high level, it's like you're flipping through and filling out all the forms by simply just using one page to fill out all the forms. It starts to talk to each other, right? So then you fill out the address, you fill out Bed Bath & Beyond, your pool, how many square feet, your lot, all the stuff that you have here, you start to fill out, and you save it in return, right? Well, if there's an inspection, you'd put it in here. Property closing, you probably don't have all that, right? And then you would hit Save Lead, okay? So let's just say we just saved this lead. Let's just say we just saved this lead. So this is what your lead would then look like. Here's the name and phone number and contact information. Here is the lead source, as I just mentioned, and or campaign, right? And you can add or remove a campaign. You can add or remove a contact. Here is the original email that populated the lead, okay? Here's the phone number that they called. Here is the property information right there. Here is the voicemail that they left that automatically attaches to the lead. Okay, and then here is the underwriting that was done. Now, underwriting can be done once you get the address of the property, so you understand. And again, if you just click on the underwriting, it'll automatically take me to the underwriting section of this property. And here are the notes we have for it. ARV is 750. Pretty cool area with level of rehab making a huge difference, blah, blah, blah. Here is, here is the MLS comps that we have here. Here's what our offer price would be. Okay, so that is, and if I want to go back to property, I just click back to property, and then it'll take me back to property. Okay, so, and again, on the right-hand side is where we leave a lot of our notes, right? Danny said, sweet, I'll take a look. Any idea of 800 or 300? This is where our notes would be, and notes can continue to go, and here's, more notes here, and when the lead was given all the proper information. So that is where we put in our notes, and we can keep jumping back and forth between, the lead and underwriting or property, right? And so everything starts to be connected, as you will notice, right? So if I close this and just go back, that is, again, we just went over leads, we just went over properties, right? Inspection, right? So if I want to add an inspection to a lead, it is very simple to add an inspection to a lead. So maybe I will add an inspection to this, right? And so I go by it, yep, property inspection. I want to do a new inspection, create new item. Boom. Now we go to the property, right? Put the property address in, even though this is a different property. Boom, property address. Then we do the seller, we do underwriting, and here comes the inspection. Roof, front yard, good, fair, poor, missing, right? Pool equipment, cabinets, flooring, bathroom, right? All of this stuff. Then we have an area for you to take notes. So you can go in all these areas and start taking notes, right? To give you even further detail. That way, anyone in your company, anyone in your business can go in here and simply look into the inspection and know exactly where this house stands, what condition it's in, what's good condition, what's bad condition, right? And you can take notes for each and all of these things. And what we also have our property manager do is we connect or we attach the files, which are pictures. So to even show you a step further, I will actually go into a deal that has inspections, and I will show you what that looks like. I don't personally like this view. I like more of the table view. Again, you can pull a report, again, for all of these things. I can add an inspection by just clicking add an inspection right here and do exactly what I just showed you to do, right? So, Karen Drive. This is where our property manager did an inspection. He marked down everything, seems to be in relatively fair quality. He put notes in, popcorn ceilings need to be scraped, blah, blah, blah. And as you can see, what I was just showing you, the files that you can add files, he added photos. So I can go in here, though I don't work in my day-to-day of the real estate business. We have a whole team who does that, and I say, God, what condition is Karen? Maybe I personally want to buy it and flip it, or maybe I personally want to buy it to live in, or whatever. All I have to do is go and do the inspection. I can see all the photos, and I can attach more files to it, right? Now you'll see down here tasks. I'm going to talk about the importance of tasks because that is primarily a huge function of what we utilize Podio for, right? But I'm just going to start here. And up here you have, connections you can make. There's a full-blown calendar that can be synced with or sunk with your Google Calendar. And then you have your tasks that you can task yourself reminders and or task other people reminders. Very, very effective tools. Over here, you can obviously look up any property by its address or seller or anything. And then you also have a way to communicate, and you get notifications of any tasks given or any notes updated. You will see that there will be plenty there. And then you have a way to communicate with your entire team, right? Directly. You can communicate with them just like you can instant messenger on Facebook or Google, right? That is the equivalent. So there's a lot of cool things, but I'll slow down now and kind of get back to the matter at hand. All right, so the lead came in, you called the seller, you got the address. It turned into a property, you set an appointment, you went on the inspection, you negotiated, and it turned into a deal. So now it'll go into a deal board. So again, you can just add a deal just as simply as this, right? You can add a deal. You can find the property address that is already in there. So let's say it's this one. And now you start going through what the deal looks like. Add the date that you got it done. Price for reselling, marketing, you can say what the status is pending an assignment, what your purchase price, what your resale is it on lockbox? If yes, what is the lockbox code? Showing instructions, earnest money deposits, all of these you can put in here. Close of escrow, inspection period to end. Do you have a buyer, right? And if you do, and you can create a new one, or you can take it from the buyers that you already have in the Podio, right? Very, very simple. And you can do it from any position in this. Again, if you went back to inspections, well, no, you'd have to add a deal board. So inspections wouldn't be the right one. But you would just have to add a deal board and then pick the property address and then put it onto the deal board. How we use this is once it goes under contract, right? Underwritings, as I showed you previously, is when the deal is in underwriting to move forward with negotiation so we know what we are talking about. And again, just you can slide it over, you can see all of the notes, you can see what we believe the ARV is as far as underwriting, you can see what we believe the rent is as far as underwriting, what our offer price needs to be, right? And then you can add an underwriting to any of the properties. Again, this is connected to this. So if you just want to add an underwriting, you click Add Underwriting, and you choose whatever property you're underwriting. Does that make sense? I mean, it is very, very useful and very, very clear. Now, we don't necessarily use offer sheets. However, they can be very, very helpful if you so choose. You'd add an offer sheet, and that simply is breaking down. Let's say we want to add an offer sheet for this property. You would, again, kind of just fill this out, and that way everyone is well aware of what the home has, right? You know, the HOA, the year bill as is, inspection, sewer bill, title company, buying terms, property sold as is, selling terms, property sold as is, additional terms, right? So all this stuff can be very useful. We don't necessarily use this function, but you absolutely can. As I had mentioned, buyers. Here's where you put in all your buyers. Obviously, we don't use it because we have our buyers list in an email format on Infusionsoft. But you can have a list of buyers here, so when it goes into your deal board and gets contracted, you can attach a buyer to it. And then you can pull a report on what buyers buy your homes and who's buying the most and so on and so forth. Campaigns, I already spoke about email flyers. Campaigns are all the campaigns that we use, right? And again, I don't like this view. But here are all the different campaigns that you can choose from, okay, that we have. You might only have one or two. You might only have one. We have 19 different campaigns, okay? You know, you can pull your goals. And the best part about Podio is if you want to go in here and edit things, you absolutely can. This is not a stagnant or a static web site, for lack of a better way of saying it. You can actually edit this to look how you want it to look, right? You can pull your mail stats, so on and so forth. So ultimately, in here and in the deal board, if you go into a random deal board, let's just do Merrill. You will see the files. We actually have wiring instructions, our A to B, our purchase contract, and our B to C, our selling contract to our buyer, attached in the deal board. Again, here are all the notes on the right-hand side. People are liking some things. You can tell with that. These are the notes. Obviously, you can tag people to make them aware. That is what happens in the notifications. I will get a notification if Eddie tags me in this file, and it will be right here. I simply click on this, and I click on that, and I read. It takes me directly to where he tagged me. Okay? So this all talks to itself and is so very useful. As I mentioned, we use tasks. So if I need to task Eddie something, I can go in here and enter task. Call Suzanne, whatever. Pick a person. I'm going to send this to Eddie. As soon as I find Eddie, and I can't find Eddie, fine. I'm going to type his name in. There he is. When is it going to be due? Today. What time? 5 p.m. Attach this task to an item. I can or I don't have to. Right now this is set at private, so he is the only one that will see it. Enter any notes. Suzanne needs help. Whatever the notes would be. If I have any file that he needs to see, I would attach it here, and I would create that task, right? So that is, and then here's where the tasks show up. That task, this task is overdue. That is long gone. So now I just completed that task that happened to be in here. And it goes away, just like that. Now if I hit create task, it will actually task Eddie, and he will get a notification right here. This is so useful, everybody. This will be able to help you communicate through your team without having to text, without having to email. Everything can be run through Podio. And another cool component of this, let me go back into here. I am going to share my screen. I'm going to stop sharing that. If you can see me, you can see I'm holding up my phone because the time is now, obviously. Okay? So the time is now, but Podio is an application. Can you guys see it? Is it going to clear up? Maybe, maybe not. Okay, so Podio is an application that is right here. Okay, that is the Podio app on my phone. And if I click it, this is fun. I have my Podio account right on my phone, and everything that you guys just saw, again, as you can see, it's right here. This is my activity, just like you were seeing, and I can scroll up just like Facebook allows you to, okay? As everything you guys just saw on Podio, you can actually have on your phone, and that's why we have a lead manager, we have an acquisition manager, we have project manager, we have myself and Eddie, we have 2 full-time assistants. We have a large company in terms of what we can do, and so we don't want to be emailing and text messaging and trying to remind people of things. Everything can go on that Podio app, and I can task people. I can put things into their Podio calendar, which automatically connects to the Gmail account if you set it up correctly, which is very simple. So this is a game changer for everyone involved. If you do not have it, again, I will remind you, and you are a boots-on-the-ground student, meaning that is the level of student you invested in, we will give it to you. If you are not a boots-on-the-ground student, it will cost you $100. That $100 does not go to me or us. It goes to the developer who will have to develop it for you. And so the other thing you need is a phone number. You must have RingCentral or Google Voice or RingRail, or I mean CallRail, because you will need a phone number that can be automatically updated into Podio. And if you have those 2 things, you are off and running. So that is Podio. That is how we use Podio. There's some things and tools that we're looking at to see if we can make it more effective. But right now, that is what you guys will get. Do you guys have any questions? Let me see here. Hey, Ruth, what's up? How about jump calls? Raphael, great point. If you are in the business model where you have someone answering the phone live, that won't be an issue. If you're letting it go to voicemail, then you're going to listen to those jump calls. It's just part of those. You just have to delete it. On my contacts, I can only add a contact. I cannot remove them. You sure it doesn't say add or remove, Raphael? I get a lot of marketing calls on RingCentral, and for some reason I cannot delete those. Maybe clarify what you mean. You can't delete them from Podio, Raphael? You need to be made an admin in your Podio account. So you would have to go into your Podio account and make sure that you have administrative powers to add and remove. That would be the next thing. And then as far as you not being able to delete them, I would assume it's because you were not an administrator on your Podio account when Joseph set you up. So you'll just simply either have to contact Joseph to allow him to add you, and or you should be able to do it yourself, is to go in there and make yourself an administrator. Oh, you got the free Podio, so you didn't have Joseph do any of it. In that case, Raphael, I don't know. I paid Joseph tens of thousands of dollars to create this for us. I don't know the first thing about how to do it, so if you did this yourself, Raphael, I highly encourage you pay the $100 so Joseph could set it up for you. So Michael Hobble says, even if you answer the phone on call rail, it records and sends the email. Will this integrate with Podio for Lead? As long as the email gets sent, it will automatically integrate with Podio for Lead. You are correct. Joseph set me up. I would then just tag Joseph in your Podio account or email him and ask him to make you administrator if that's the case. Otherwise, actually in the left-hand corner, you likely can make yourself an administrator. That would be my answer for why you are able to add or remove or not remove. When I answer incoming calls and try to track in Podio to put in tracking info, it does not appear coming in from Google Voice. How do I solve? You will need to have an email sent. Okay, so you need to have Google Voice email you that a call came in, and then once that happens, it will automatically grab that email and populate your Podio account. Okay, so for example, in our business, we have a call service, Answer Live. They email us the information that we need. That email from the call service then automatically populates Podio. You could likely have Ring Central or Google Voice email you anytime a call comes in, whether it is answered or not, and in that case, it would automatically populate your Podio account. Any progress in being able to link Microsoft Office Outlook contacts with Podio? No. Mark, not familiar with Outlook. I've used Gmail and Google for the last 10 years or so. So the answer is no, we have made no progress on that. So unfortunately, I'm unable to help. Google Contacts linkage to Podio is great. I've always used Google. Unfortunately, I don't know what to tell you about Outlook. You're welcome, Ruth. You're welcome. You're welcome, Raphael. So Michael is asking, can I spell the application Zapier? It is Z-A-P-I-E-R, and that is what integrates your phone service to your Podio. You're very welcome, Mark. You're very welcome, Michael. All right, all right. Podio has been a hot subject for many students, so if you are watching as a recording, this is the Podio account. Hopefully this has been of great help. If you are live, which a lot of you are, thank you for asking questions. Obviously, I encourage questions, but this will be posted this Friday if there's no further questions. And as always, I am your host, Justin Colby. I'm going to sign out now, and we will see you next Wednesday. Peace.